Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Coastal Living. Now, we all know the temperatures are rising outside and we are all feeling it. Believe it or not, your soil and your foundation are feeling it as well. What does that have to do with you? Well, if you have foundation problems, the bill can add up pretty quickly if you choose to ignore it. It all starts with taking care of the soil around your home and making sure you have a great company to rely on to help with any repairs necessary. Check out our interview with Baird Foundation. Please welcome Will Cheney with Baird Foundation. Now, when it comes to foundation, this hot summer heat in Texas can really take its toll on the soil, which in turn could affect your foundation. So, Will, tell me about how these weather events affect the soil underneath our homes.
Well, the first thing you should know is underneath your home, there are many different layers of soil. There's sand, clay, gravel, peat, and many others. And like you mentioned, in this South Texas heat, typically what happens is our soils tend to dry up, become really hard, and create voids beneath our home. We actually even have, on the other end of the spectrum, when we get tremendous rains, the soil becomes super wet, and then we can have washout around your home, even underneath.
Okay, so clearly these, especially the heavy rain, for some reason it's like not just a drizzle, it's a tsunami here in Texas, and it does take its toll, especially when you have sitting water. Now that we've covered the soil, tell me, how does all of that affect our foundation?
So whether it's super dry or super wet, typically what happens is there's these voids created underneath your home. And when these voids are created, the weight of your home is going to want to sit into those voids. And when it sits into those voids and it begins to settle, that's when you have cracks and all the other problems that go along with having your house settle into those voids.
All right, and so what can we do to prevent that? I mean, we can't control the weather, but we can control how we maintain the soil and our foundations. So what can we do on our end?
So there's quite a few things you can do. Many people have probably heard, water your. That's actually a really important thing, especially in these summer months, hot summer months, because that can actually prevent a lot of the drying out and the movement. Another thing too is oftentimes we see in the field is that typically why people have so much washout is they have water pooling up around their home. Mm-hmm. And it can be really detrimental to your foundation. So we recommend proper system and also installing maybe even a grate system around your home. Another thing too is trying not to plant shrubs and trees really close to your foundation. Mm-hmm. The growing can cause foundation problems as well.
Okay, good to know. So now, because of you, we know how to maintain our soil, how to tackle the elements to take care of our foundation. Now, what if we already have some signs of some potential problems? What are we looking out for? And give us a few of those tips and what parts of the house we're looking at.
For sure. So there's actually quite a few signs that you can have foundation problems. Typically, it's exterior or interior cracks in your home. These can be in the floor, in the ceiling, and we see it in cracking in tile and things like that. Also, sloping of floors. You can sometimes walk into a home and feel it's unlevel. There's also things like where the floor and the ceiling can actually be pulling away from the walls in your home. We've even seen chimneys actually pulling away from homes, which can be a huge sign that you have foundation problems.
Okay. We're not all professionals like you are. If we're seeing any of these signs, what should we do?
Well, if you see any of these signs, you should call us, the local South Texas Foundation Repair expert, Baird Foundation Repair, and we'd be more than happy to send out a system design specialist to see the problems that you may potentially be having and create some solutions to those problems, and so that you can have peace of mind and restore value to your greatest investment.
Great. And where do we call or where do we go for more information?
So you can go to our website, which is www.bairdfoundationrepair.com, or you can call us. And those numbers differ based on location.
Wonderful. Well, Baird Foundation, family owned and operated, which is something we truly appreciate in our community. So thank you for the pointers. I think all of us now will have our eyes peeled and looking around our homes for potential problems. Of course, it's always better to nip it in the bud right when you find out you have a problem versus waiting for it to get worse, right?
Yes. It's a much cheaper and easier fix if you solve it now rather than call us today.
Wonderful. All right, everyone watching, give Baird Foundation a call. Don't forget to tell them Coastal Living sent you. They'll take extra good care of you. Thank you, Will, so much for your time.